It's important for all of you guys to understand what is this form and how do you fill it. Get the I-20, fill the DS-160.
Most important is to appear for visa interview as earliest as possible, because we have seen a trend that if you appear for visa interview earlier, chances of getting approvals are higher.
You know, the early bird catches the worm. It is definitely what makes sense in the US visa process. And that's just from our own student data as well. We have found that the golden months for fall intake are March, April, May, June.
Correct. This is something you have to mentally prepare yourself, that I have to prove these things in front of visa officer. You have shared your financials with the university. That's why you have got your I-20. Then what's the logic they are asking you?
What would be this, like, the maximum number of attempts that you have seen a student has ever made? Eight attempts?
And
wow.
Finally got his visa.
Finally got his visa. Oh man, lucky man. You know, it's like you say, na, you keep trying, you will be successful. Hello everyone, welcome to Study Abroad with Piyush, and today we are going to go into the details of how do you apply for your US student visa. So before we go any further, please subscribe to our channel. Today we have Ashish with us. He's our expert who has filed for countless number of visas for students in the US. He has helped them prepare for their US visa mocks, guided them on DS-160 forms. So welcome Ashish, welcome to Study Abroad with Piyush. Thanks for taking out time. We want to understand the US student visa process. So of course it starts by getting your I-20. Whichever university, your dream school, you would apply, you will have some requirements, and then finally I-20 document is received. So I-20 is your official offer letter which you will take for your visa interview, right?
Correct.
Right. Assume that our students have received the I-20 from their dream university. So what are the steps are going to happen for a student to get to the final visa?
So after getting an I-20, a student can start his or her visa application. The first step is to fill the DS-160 form. That's the main US visa application.
Right.
Next one, after filling this form, you have to go on US travel docs. You have to create a profile, pay the visa fees, and now you can book the visa slots.
Get the I-20, fill the DS-160, then go to US travel docs, fill the form, pay the visa fees, and book the appointment.
Correct.
Then what you do?
After booking an appointment, the last payment we have to do is for the SEVIS.
SEVIS fee payment has to be made. This is on a different portal.
Exactly. So after paying the SEVIS fees, now we can start preparing for an interview. And
so then we prepare for the interview and then we go and give the interview.
Correct.
An interview also has two parts, right? One is an interview which is at the embassy, and one is the biometric, which is at the VFS.
Correct.
When you are going for that interview, getting this passport back is one thing which a lot of students have been getting. That means they are getting rejected. That is the reason why we want to understand this process through and throughout. And we're going to share it with now a lot more detail. Before we get into the process, we have now our I-20. How do we ensure that our I-20 is correct? And what all things we must check in it, because if that document is wrong, your foundation is wrong, and then all things will go haywire. Correct. So what do you check in an I-20?
Once we receive the I-20, we have to check, there are 4 major sections in the I-20, and we have to check all the details, whatever is written there, that is correct or not.
Right.
So the first section, obviously the personal detail. In the personal detail, your name should be as per the passport, then your date of birth, your passport number. So these are personal details you have to check. Then there is a second section, school information. So you will get all the details about your university in that section. So university name, university address, contact person upon arrival. Then the last thing you have to check is the school approval code. So that is also mentioned there. Third section is very important, your program of study. So you have to check about your program of study, course start date, end date, duration, everything is mentioned over there. And the last section which is important to check is the financials. So
financials, that's the most important one.
Exactly. So financial section, whatever document you have shared with the university, what finances you have shared, that is written over there, and how much is the required from the university. And
so basically how much money is required and how are you planning to finance your education.
Correct.
So you need to make sure all these 4 things are very correctly mentioned on the document, because that's exactly the same information we are going to be using in our next step, which is filling the DS-160 form.
Absolutely.
How do you fill the DS-160 form? I think a lot of students get scared and they leave it to the counselors, aap hi fill kar do. That's where I think a lot of challenges happen. So it's important for all of you guys to understand what is this form and how do you fill it. Tell us a little bit more about that, Ashish.
While filling this form, you have to be very careful. Whatever details you are filling, you have to ensure that that is 100% correct. In the DS-160, we have total 11 sections.
Can you, Ashish, just show us an actual DS-160 form and maybe just take us through as to how and what information has to be filled in it?
Sure. So here we have the DS-160 application. So first you need to select location, You will select India, any location, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad. So I'm selecting Delhi. Then we'll enter the CAPTCHA here. And if you're starting the application, so first time you will click on start an application. Yeah. Okay, I agree here. And now you will get your DS160 number here in the right hand corner. Now you have to select your security question. You can select any question and answer. Next time whenever you will log in, you will have to enter the details. Okay, so this is the first page of your DS160 application. So we have 11 sections in this form written here already in the left hand side. We need to complete all these sections, and this is very important that we fill this form correctly. So once you will fill this form and submit, you will get this confirmation page. This confirmation page is important. You need to carry with yourself at the time of biometric and your visa interview. So we are providing the link in the description. Please check it out.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you, Ashish. That was a very detailed description. Can you give us a couple of tips which you think students usually make mistakes in?
So while filling the DS160, a couple of mistakes, or I would say confusion among the student. Should we mention all the educational qualification or previous work experience in detail or not?
Right.
Because that's your main application, right? And you're going for a student visa, so you have to share all the details, whatever you studied previously in detail. Also your work profile. So your profile matters a lot. Whatever detail you are filling, that visa officer is going to use while interview.
So even if you have like 4 or 5 companies that you have worked with, you are saying mention details of all of them.
Exactly. There is a section already given over there, ki whatever previously you have done,
right,
explain in detail.
Right.
So
guys, don't take a shortcut. Don't do it in a hurry. Just make sure that you are diligent and you spend that time in filling the DS160. Anything else that you want to share about DS160, Ashish?
So while filling this DS160 form, one thing student, they have to ensure that whatever is mentioned in the DS160, you should be fully aware of that.
Right.
Because that's your form. Whatever you are mentioning in that form, the interviewer is going to
yes, it's not just a form that you submit and you forget.
Exactly.
You are going to get interviewed basis this information as well. So you need to make sure you understand what's exactly in it and it is accurate. Perfect. So now we have filled the DS160 form. What do you do next?
So after filling this form, we have to review, we have to submit, and then we have to go on US Travel Doc site. We have to create a profile there, we have to register, and after registration, we have to fill a short form. We have to mention our DS160 number, then we have to mention our SEVIS number, which we have already got in our I-20, and then we have to submit this application. We have to pay the visa fees.
How much is the visa fees?
Visa fees is $185.
185
roughly
US
around
dollars.
16,000
INR. All right. And of course, that keeps changing, but you have to pay
Yes.
185 US dollars right now. It can change with time. So, and once you pay this fee, what is the next step?
So after making the payment, now you can book the visa slots.
Now you can book the visa slot. I think that is again a big area of concern for students. Slots nahi milte hain, and so we can't find the slots, and students are waking up till midnight, and 2 o'clock in the morning they're looking for slots. They're finding slots but for a different location. Just demystify slot booking a little bit for us. How should one plan this?
While booking the slot, you should be very clear that you get the slot as earliest as possible. This is one of the important thing you have to keep in your mind, because lot of people do mistake while they have some certain preferences. I will go for interview for X location or Y location, and there is a rumor, I would say misinformation, that certain location has a different visa
higher, like higher. Hyderabad, the visa rejections are
exactly,
higher, and Mumbai it is visa rejections are low. All of that is purely rumor.
Exactly. Most important is to appear for visa interview as earliest as possible, because we have seen a trend that if you appear for visa interview earlier, chances of getting approvals are higher.
And that's just from our own student data as well. We have found that the golden months for fall intake are March, April, May, June.
Correct.
And July is like middle, and then visa rejections have been will skyrocket. October and November are the golden months for the January intake. So applying early, the early bird catches the worm. It is definitely what makes sense in the US visa process. Try and get an early appointment. Try and plan in advance. That is definitely one of the big things. If you're not able to find a slot, then what do you do?
So we have to keep checking regularly. This is important. So we never know when visa slots are going to be open. So These are very uncertain things. So you have to be very attentive. You should
Right.
know matlab when I have to log in. So you should know I have to log in regularly to check the visa slots and
Right.
when slots are available.
And also, we're going to put a link down in the description, guys. Fill that form so that you are part of the mailing list, because our team keeps checking when the visa slots are opening. So then you can become part of the alert system where whenever any slots come up open, we're going to tell you guys as well. So you guys keep a lookout or join the mailing list, and we'll also share whenever we can that information with you. Can you also give us like a small demo of how do you book slots?
Sure, sir. Yeah. Here's the portal. We'll provide you the link in the description. So here we need to create a profile. We'll create a profile here, and then we need to pay the visa fees, and then we'll book the visa slots.
Understood. So that is fantastic, Ashish. So now we have our slots. What is the next step for us? Now there's a deadline.
Exactly.
And all our Indian students work well on deadline.
So after booking the slot, we have to pay the SEVIS fees. That
Right.
is $350.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a separate portal for that. Don't forget. So we have to go on that portal. We have to pay We have to first register, and then we have to pay $350.
So now we have paid our SEVIS fee. We have our receipt, and now the only thing remaining is to go and give the interview.
Correct.
And the biometric, of course. How would you suggest that we prepare for our visa interview?
So I would say that is something heart of the entire process for
Yes.
US. So interview is something that is going to decide whether you are going US or not. You have to keep few things in your mind before preparing for an interview, because what visa officer is looking in you. You already have your offer letter from your desired university. That means you are somewhere meeting the eligibility requirement.
Right.
You have shared your financials with the university. That's why you have got your I-20. Then what's the logic they are asking you, to come for an interview?
Yeah.
Or even interview durations are very short.
Yes.
So 1 and 2 minutes they are going to decide.
Right.
So basically they just want to check whether your intention is to study from US or you are just applying F1 visa to enter US.
To enter US. Yeah.
So if you have to crack the visa interview, first you have to make your mind prepared that I have to prove in front of visa officer that my intention is to study from
Right.
US. Because we have applied for student visa, and there are a couple of many people they apply for this student visa even though their primary intentions may not be to study.
That's the one they're trying to weed out.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. This is something you have to mentally prepare yourself, that I have to prove these things in front of visa officer that I'm a potential student. My intentions are to study from there.
Guys, we have gone through entire detailed content on how do you answer the most typical questions which are asked in the US visa process. There are almost 7 of them plus 8th one on how to apply for visa again if you get a rejection. Now all of these videos are available and you can go through them. I'm going to put all these links in the description for you to go through and learn from. Just tell us a little bit more also about what documents should one carry when one is going for the biometrics, and what documents to carry when a student is going for their visa interview.
So all these documents are on the screen. You need to carry during your biometric.
Perfect. What does a student need to carry when they're going for their US visa interview?
So for visa interview, apart from these documents, we have to keep extra our financial document plus academic document.
Both originals.
Exactly.
Right. And financial original would be like all your bank statement which are like signed and stamped by the bank themselves. I think that's great information. Thank you, Ashish, for sharing it. Also, if you guys are looking for the secret document with the most frequently asked questions in the US visa interviews, comment interview below and I'm going to share that list with you. In this whole process, it's a long process, right? And what we have found is if you get a rejection at the end of it, it is very disheartening. So what would you say, is the single biggest reason for visa rejection in the US?
I would say the timing.
So timing, according to you, is the biggest
Yes.
and the most important reason. All right. A few technical questions there for you, Ashish. Once I filed for the visa and let's say I get a rejection and I'm going to reapply, do I need to pay the visa fees again?
Yes. So after you get a visa refusal, that means previous visa application outcome you have already got.
Right.
Okay. So now you have to start the process again. So you have to create a new DS-160. That's the new visa application. Right. Then you have to pay the visa fees again, and then you have to book the visa slot again.
And do I have to pay the SEVIS fee again as well?
No. So SEVIS has a catch. So validity for SEVIS fees is for 1 year.
And if I changed my university when I'm reapplying, then I have to...
We have to transfer the SEVIS. So there is no separate charge for transferring the university.
So we can get the SEVIS fee transferred to my other university as well. And how many times can I reapply for visa?
So that depends. There is no, I would say, limits. You can apply as many times as you can. But that's the thing. Try to get your visa within maximum 2 or 3 attempts.
What would be this, like, the maximum number of attempts that you have seen a student has ever made?
8.
Eight attempts?
And
Wow.
finally got his visa approved.
Finally got his visa. Oh man, lucky man. It's like you say, you keep trying, you will be successful. But yeah, 8 times, I'm sure it would have been very painful and expensive.
Exactly.
But great. Thank you so much, Ashish. Thanks for taking out time, and it's been great to know about the entire US student visa process, and I hope you guys learned a lot. All the things that you saw, all the links are there in the description, so you can go explore and understand more in detail. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and we're gonna see you in the next video.